Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Tutoring, as well as the owner of You Can Tutor Mentorship. So, as we're going on our journey with properties of logarithms, we're just going to basically looking at the different ways of solving or simplifying expressions from logs to exponentials. But what we're going to actually look at is the product, the quotient, and the power of logs. Just like how we have the product, the quotient, and the power of exponents, there are rules with the logs. So depending on what the base is, if we see two terms that are next to each other, that's multiplication. When we extend it out, we're actually going to be doing addition. Whereas the quotient rule, when we're doing our dividing, when there's a fraction, you're actually going to extend it by doing the subtraction of those logs. Now, the power rule is basically like your exponent is coming all the way to the front of your log. So it turns from an exponent over to a coefficient of your log. So we're going to look at a couple examples of those, and we're going to see how things pan out. And if you have questions, go ahead and put it into the chat. So, a couple things, and then possibly close to the end, I'm going to ask a serious question to see how things are going to go with TikTok, because I am thinking about changing my times, just so I can get the proper rest and rejuvenation that I need this summer based off of all the craziness been going on. So, hello, and welcome on in. So let's see how many, if we can get in here. Let's see if we can get at least 10 more people in here, and then we'll get ourselves started. Hello, Michael. Yes, how are you? All right. Okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so as a quick one, when we have log of base 3 of 9 minus log base 3 of 27. So I know most people will be like, all right, well, we could, if we wanted to, we could see if we can find what would represent the log base 3 of 9. So if we think about it, if I translate this to an exponent, I have a base of 3, and we're saying 3 raised to the what power will equal 9. Okay? So 3 raised to the second power will equal 9, because 3 times 3 gives me 9. So then over here, we have log base 3 of 27. So we're looking at 3 times what, or 3 raised to the what power equals 27. 3 times what, or 3 raised to the what power equals 27. So hopefully we're getting that 27. So hopefully we're getting that 3 to the third power, because 3 times 3 gives me 9, which we got over here, and then 9 times 3 gives me 27. So 3 sets of 3's multiplied together will give me the 27. So since this one is 2 and this one is 3, we would think that the answer is going to be a -1. Another way of looking at this is, since it's subtraction, we're going to be doing what's called the quotient rule. So basically, we're taking the first log and putting it over the second log. So if I do it with the extension, let me stick it over here, this is what's going to happen. They both have the same log of 3. So this is going to be log base 3. But then you're going to have your m over your n. So it's going to be my 9 over my 27. Now, we know that 9 27ths can be reduced to 1/3. So we're looking at log base 3 will give me 1/3. So if you think of it this way, this is saying that a base of 3 raised by what will give me 1/3. Now, if you recall what happens with exponents, anytime you go from a whole number to a fraction, that means that exponent is going to be negative. So we're looking at 3 raised to the negative first power. 3 raised to the negative first power is the same as when you do the reciprocal and you make it positive, which gives me 1/3. So your x is equal to -1. And if you notice, we get the same exact answer. So there's two ways that you can solve it. You can either simplify, then do your subtraction, or you can do what's called the quotient rule. So you're basically taking your 9 over your 27, since they both have the same base and the same type of log. So then once you do that, you reduce 9 27ths, which gives me 1/3, because 9 divided by 9 gives me 1, and 27 divided by 9 gives me 3. And then we had to figure out 3 raised to what power will give me 1/3. And when I go from a whole number to a fraction, that tells me that exponent is going to be negative. Okay. Right? Yep, as soon as you pass college algebra, you're like, yep, done. All right, so I think it's Jazz. I think that's what it is. You're learning this now? Awesome. All right, so now we're going to do some more examples, and we're going to play around with these properties, okay? Because sometimes, yes, we can break it down this way, but sometimes it'll be a lot simpler when we go with the properties. So we're just going to get used to the properties a little bit, all right? So go ahead, keep tapping it out, okay? All right. So let's do this. Let's say, yeah, we'll do this. We're gonna have to learn it anyway. So if I have log of 3r raised to the 4th, okay? No parentheses, just 3r raised to the 4th. Now, if I take a look right here in the center, okay, the 3 is actually being multiplied to the r. So this, since it's multiplication, we're looking at the product rule. So the product rule is telling me that I'm basically splitting those two products together and giving them their own logs, but I'm going to separate them by addition, okay? Just like with exponents. When you multiply, you add the exponents. Same thing is happening here, but now we're not just looking at bases, we're looking at logs as well. Now this only goes when you have the same base. So say if we had two different bases, then we wouldn't be able to do this product rule. Okay, we might have to simplify like we did for the first part. So this is what it's gonna look like. Do my blue. So first I'm going to split them up into their own logs. So we have our log base of 10 with 3 plus log base of 10 with r to the 4th. And you're probably saying, well, wait, Audrey, why didn't you do to the 4th power to the 3? Good question. 1, there's not a parenthesis around the 3r. If there was a parenthesis around the 3r, that means I'm raising the 3 and the r to the 4th power. But that's not what's happening. So since there's no parenthesis, the only thing that's being raised to the 4th power is the r. That's it. So that means when we split this up, because this is multiplication, so that means we need to split it up with its own log with addition. So that's why you have log of 3 on one side plus log of r to the 4th. Now we're not done. I just want you to understand the splitting. Okay, I want you to understand that split. So now we got something going on right here. And what's going on over here is we have a 4 that's an exponent. Well, an exponent is also called, well, this whole r to the 4th is called a power. So that means we're looking at the power rule. And the power rule is basically saying I'm taking my exponent of x and then I'm moving it to the front of my expression. That's all you're doing. So back in the day, there was this thing called Basketball Wives. I don't even know if it's still on or anything. And there was this girl, Evelyn, who didn't like this other girl named Jennifer. Like, I'm really digging deep in years with this. And this is when she was with, I think his name was Ocho Cinco. He was a football player. And for some reason, something happened between her and Jennifer. I forgot what it was, but there was beef. So all I know is Evelyn is like on one side. Like, say this is Evelyn over here. This is her, the red pen. And then my highlighter is Jennifer over here. So Evelyn basically jumped over a table just to get to Jennifer. So I don't know why it always stuck to me. Sometimes I call this power rule the Evelyn rule. I know. I hope she's watching this. This would be so cool. Okay. So I call it the Evelyn because what she did, she just jumped over a table like it was a long table too, like in one leap. Like, that's just pure anger, right? That's pure unadulterated anger. All right. So this is algebra 2. Okay. So I think someone asked, like, what math is this? This is algebra 2. Okay. So now we're moving this 4 all the way to the front of its, okay, not to the front of the whole expression, just to the front of its own term. So what's it going to look like? It's going to be a log of 3 plus, let me put this over here, 4 times the log of r. So the r stays right where it is. The r stays right where it is, but the 4 is coming to the front of your log. Okay? So what you just did is went from a compressed term to an expanded term. Okay? So we're using the properties of logarithms to expand your term. Okay? Now, if they ever give you an answer like this, SAT, ACT, and all of a sudden you look at your answer choices and there's some decimals, well, since the SATs is more digital, and plus you can use your Desmos, all you have to do is just type in what the log of 3 would be plus what 4 times the log of r. Obviously, this is going to stay the same, but this might be a decimal. But I'm going to be truthful. Since r is not a number, yeah, that's your answer. Like, I'm just like, I don't think they're going to be that technical. If so, really? Get over yourselves. Okay. All right. And didn't learn this in Algebra 2? Yeah, they're learning this. They're starting a lot of stuff. This is considered Algebra 2 now. Okay. Yeah, they're starting a lot of stuff early. Hey, Danny, how are you? Condensed, then we turn into expanded form. Yes, that's exactly what we did. So it was condensed, okay, because there was that multiplication of the 3 and the r. So then all we did was expand it with the plus sign. I'm all right. I can say things. Okay. So let's get to the next one. All right. So keeping that in mind, okay, let's see how you guys can do with this one. I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I can shrink it enough that I can have both problems on here. So you can use the previous problem as an example. Okay. What would this look like expanded? Okay. Oh, thanks, Danny. Do I teach geometry? I do. I help tutor with geometry, but I'm really starting to love Algebra 2. But I know, and the whole thing is always the proofing. But I actually like proving congruent triangles. That's like my fave. All right, thank you so much for the roses and the gifts, guys. I appreciate it. Hey, Miss Jag, how are you? Okay. There you go. So you're in the American continent? Okay. All right, Pog. I'm okay. I had a moment, that's why I was late. Nope. You're doing all right. Yeah, it is hard to type sometimes. But I understand what you're doing. If you have it something like Miss Jag, I think it's no, if you have it something like Pog, I'll understand what you're doing. Okay. Hey, Aaron. There you go. Aaron. Sorry. Okay. All right. Nope, you're fine. Because right now, we shouldn't be seeing any equal signs because this is not an equation. This is an expression. So all we're doing is going to be expanding or condensing. Okay. So, okay. There you go. So there it is, Michael. Good. Last week. Okay. Well, this is Algebra 2. So if you're going to be going into last week. Okay. Well, this is Algebra 2. So if you're going to be was logs. All right. So since it's 7b, that means 7 times b. So that means we're using the product rule, just like how we did for this one. So we're splitting up the 7 and the b, and each of them are going to get their own log of base 2. So since we have our log base 2 of 7 plus the log base 2 of b, that's all you had to do. Okay, that's all you had to do. Pre-calc. Pre-calc definitely see this in pre-calc. All right, so let's try something a little more stringent. Just a little bit. Nothing too crazy. Just a little bit. So if I have, let's say if I have log y over 3 squared. Okay. Comes up, yep. All right. So this time we got the quotient rule. So the quotient is different a little bit from the product because we're going to give them each their own logs, but instead of addition, it's going to be subtraction. Now, here's the thing. Everything is being raised to the second power because it has parentheses this time. So since everything is being raised, that means this 2 needs to come in front from the very beginning. The reason why, let me say up here, we didn't put the 4 in front of the log because it was, but since we have parentheses this time, that means that 2 is going to be in front of our logs. So you have your 2, then you have your log of y over 3, but we know that y over 3, that's going to be split, right? So we got our log of y minus our log of 3. And this is all being multiplied by 2. I don't think we have to put parentheses, but I know sometimes I do extra with the parentheses. There you go. Yes, Evelyn is the 2 in the equation. There we go, Michael. I know, Evelyn's the 2 in the equation. All right, good. All right. Yep, and that's all we have to do. So since there was a parenthesis, we have to bring that 2 to the front, so that will be the power rule. Then we broke down the log of y over 3. So we gave the log. Always start with the numerator first. Okay, so log of y minus, since it's division, minus the log of 3. Okay. All right, not too strenuous. I know. But I know, like, when you see things like this, it can be overwhelming or it can be scary. And you're like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I need an adult. And then all of a sudden you just lose your mind. But you just take it step by step. Okay? But you just take it step by step. Okay? And I know we live in a society that everybody wants to be first. Well, guess what? Sometimes being first is not what it's all cracked up to be. So I'm going to really challenge you guys. And you're probably going to be like, I want to see what you can do. Let's see if I slide it over a little bit. Okay. I want to see what you can do. Now, here's the thing. This is not going to be graded. Okay? So you don't have to worry about like, I got to be perfect. If you get something wrong, this is the best place to be to get something wrong and learn it and correct it. Okay? That's my whole philosophy. We like to break things step by step. So give it a try. See what you can get. It's okay, Michael. if you could guess, what would it be? Just play around with what we were just talking about. Just play around with it. Very close, Pog. Very close. Very close. Okay, so you got the first part. Oh, you're working on the second part. Oh, wait. Hold on. I think I might be reading it wrong. Oh, okay. All right. I see what's happening. Okay. All right, Aaron, let's see what you got there. So my question for you, Aaron, is what is carrying the exponent of 2? Very close, Jaleesa. Very close, like right there on the cusp. Yes. Yes, Aaron. So just let that have the exponent. No, Pog, you're okay. I didn't want to just... No, Pog, you're okay. I didn't want to just say it outright. Because then people will stop trying. Okay, Glossy. Am I an engineer? I am not. But have I worked with engineers before? Yes. Kids that wanted to major in engineering. Here's my play on it. Like, I don't know what you want to do. So I just feel like if you introduce to as many different types of math as possible, so when you do get in this situation, you're not going to be like, oh, I've never seen that before, and then people are going to judge you. Versus, oh, I've seen that before, but can you go over it with me? That's a different approach. So there's a lot of math, there's a lot of careers, there's a lot in coding, there's a lot in engineering, there's a lot in everything. But it all depends on what you want to do and how you want to conform it. Okay? Because I don't want to hear like, oh, there's no math in life. Like someone actually said that at one point. I think it was like a few months ago. And I was like, really? How you woke up this morning, that was math. Okay? You got the rhythms within you. All right? Oh, thank you. Like my 13th fan in my fan club. All right, so let's take a look. So here we go. Now, we have 7 being multiplied to 2x minus 3, which is being squared. So if we split it, because this is multiplication, so we're doing the product rule. So we have the log base 3 of 7. I think a lot of us got that. And the plus sign, which is awesome. That's the 2x minus 3. So that's doing the Evelyn. So Evelyn's jumping in front. Then we still have that log base 3. And since it's in parentheses, you can keep it in parentheses with the 2x minus 3. And that's your answer. Okay. Probably. Yeah. Because in the middle, early this morning, I was sending an email and all of a sudden my internet just went. So, you know, it always takes time for it to kind of get itself back together. So probably. The way my life is set up right now. I don't want to say nothing is going right for me because that's a lie. There are certain things in my life that's going right. But, you know, I've been having a lot of hiccups. I'm starting to look like a cartoon character hiccuping off the ledge. All right. So, now, that's going from the condensed form. All right. Word logging lines. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's the condensed form going to expand it. What happens if we have it expanded and we put it into condense? All right. So let me go to the other side. While I'm setting up on the other side, go ahead and tap. And while I'm setting this up, I'm just going to mention that the doors are slowly about to close. If you want to join us, there's a few of us here that wants to join us for the summer math prep, and it's for your GED. You want to join us. There's a few of us here that wants to join us for the summer math prep, and it's for your GED, ASVAB, TEAS test, and also AccuPlacer. We work on those skill sets that is going to be in those examinations. So by the end of this course, which we're looking at the end of August, you should be able to go ahead and go take those tests. So you're not waiting any time whatsoever. So it gives you a safe space for you to ask questions, gives you a safe space to do some extension. You know, we got everything for you. So we just completed week number 2, but week 3, we're just about to get into the algebra part. And then plus, everything is recorded. We have replays. So if you're interested, make sure you DM me, okay? And if anything, if you're like, yeah, I'm interested, but I don't have that much funding, that's what I've been doing for basically this week all the way to the end of this month. One, I needed to raise some money to save my home, but I figured let's see if I can do something that's twofolds, something that's going to help me, but then something that's going to help someone else. So if you can't afford to do the course, at least I can get someone to sponsor for you. And we've had a total of 38 sponsors so far. And I'm hoping there's going to be more. I had 40 today and then realized that 2 people made a donation and they took it back the same day. Like, why? Why people? Like, why are people messing with my head? And there weren't people that I knew. So I was like, all right, but, they put it's through my CashApp. So they did it and they pulled it back, which is stupid. I don't know. Anywho, so if you want the help, you can sit there and watch videos and try to convince yourself that you know what's going on. Or you can ask someone that knows it and can actually break it down to you step by step. So you're not memorizing formulas and you're not making connections with your memorization. So I tried to keep it nice, light, and simple. If you don't believe me, just stay on the live and you'll find out. All right. So now we have the log base 3 of 20 minus the log base 3 of 4. So with that being said, they both have the same log base of 3. Okay, they have the same log base of 3. So I can actually write that out. I got my log base of 3. But I see subtraction. So if I see subtraction, okay, which operation am I using? Am I using product or am I using quotient? So Jaleesa is telling me quotient. Do we believe her? Is she telling us the truth? Okay, is Jaleesa? I don't know why I want to say Delisha. Weird. Not your name. Nowhere near it. Ay. All right. So Michael agrees with you, and Michael knows. Michael will never lie to you. Okay. Right? Terrible. I'm so sorry. It's kind of like a little combination of this heat. I don't know where you guys are in the world. I think they're talking, snow in California? I'm like, shoot, bring that over here in Baltimore. This is crazy. 79 degrees. Don't make no dang sense. It's craziness. So yes, okay, Jaleesa is correct. Since it's a minus sign, we are going to put our answer in fraction form. So that means the 20, we already start with the first one to the left. 20 is going to be our numerator, and 4 is going to be our denominator. Now, I know it's going to be tempting, okay? Unless we are solving or they really want us to simplify, okay? If you want, you can keep it like this, or you can say log base 3 of 5. Okay? Either or. Okay? Either or. My whole thing, if they say simplify it, if they say condense it and simplify, then your answer is going to be the last one. If they say simple condensing, you can use this top one. Okay? All right, so you do have choices. Yes, because Paul got that right there. Beautiful. Okay? Questions on that one? See, when you first started this, you probably thought, oh my gosh, this is so hard. This is crazy. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's not that bad. Okay, so let's try this one. So 3, the log base of 2 of x plus the log base of 2 of y. Okay, condense this. Condense this. Is this trig? Condense this. Is this trig? It's mostly logs. It's mostly logs. Every time I say the word log, I think of Ren and Stimpy. It's log, it's log. Everyone wants a log. Tells you what generation I'm from. Michael's saying log base 3 of x cubed times y. Okay, Pog is saying log 3 x to the third y times y. Okay. Base 2. Okay. Thank you. Okay, algebra 2? Yes, it is, Veronica. I know, right? Switching up. Well, you got to once in a while, you know, switch some things up. Okay, the base is 2. There we go. Okay, so hey, Daddy. Zaddy. Keith, where were you? We already talked about this. Yes, I already addressed that. All right. So, and if you're wondering what it is, go here. Give me about like a good 2, maybe 3 hours, because sometimes it takes forever. Go here so you can find your answer, because I definitely just went over that. All right. All right. Let you know. I think you need to take the rudeness out of your voice and try to adjust. I don't play this around here. Okay. All right. So, got a few people. All right. So, we still have that log of base 2, but we notice we have a 3 that's a coefficient. So, the 3 is now going to be the exponent. Okay. So, we're going up to that exponent. So, if I may take it step by step, so we got the log base 2 with x raised to the 3rd power plus log base 2 of y. Okay. Since we have since we have addition, we're going to multiply. So you could just simply say log base 2 x to the 3rd y. Okay. Now, you could put parentheses around the x, but it's not necessary because we already know that that 3 is only going to be associated with the x, with the cube. So once you get here, you can just simply just put them close together. And remember, if it's not being separated by a plus or a minus sign, this is multiplication. All right. All right. Hey, Cookie. Welcome in. Supposedly, my fan club has completed the first stage of the club quest. Has been unlocked for all fans to send and celebrate. Okay. Well, thanks, Cookie, for opening something up. Which I don't know. That's awesome. What's that? I don't know. So I'm still trying to figure this whole thing called TikTok out. Oh, thanks. So all these hearts with little crowns, it's supposed to be like for our community. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. Let's do a couple more. Let's see what we can do with this one. So we got log base 3, a 3. Plus 5 log base 3 of 3. So Pog is saying 6. We got the log base 3 of 3 raised to the 6. Well, thank you, Cookie. All right. So let's take a gander here. So we know that they both have a log base 3, but this one has that 5. So we got to do the reverse Evelyn. We got to reverse it. Okay, so Evelyn, get back to your seat, girl. Calm your butt down. So now we're looking at our log base 3 of 3 plus our log base 3 of 3 raised to the 5th. Okay, it only goes with that second term. So now, since they both have the log base 3, we can do it this way, or we can do it, there's so many different ways. So we got log base 3. Since it is addition, that means in order for us to condense it, we're going to be doing multiplication. So it's like we have our 3 times 3 raised to the 5th. But if we want to, we could simplify this very well, because this looks kind of crazy. Now, the way that I say it could be cleaned up a lot better. I'm looking right here. If I think of it as an exponent, 3 raised to the what power will give me 3? Not to insult you, I just want to raise a point. So 3 raised to the what power will give me 3? Put it in the chat, please. So 3, there you go. Thank you, Evie. That's 1. Uno, Paul, good. Miss Jag, 1. Cookie, 1. Milton, 1. Good. Hello, Milton. How are you? All right. So here's a shortcut, just in case. When you have the same bases, okay, when this is a 3 and this is a 3, it will always give you 1. Every time. Okay? Now, same philosophy is happening to the other side. Philosophy is happening to the other side. So over here, again, we have the 3 bases. Okay? They basically cancel each other out. So if they cancel each other out, including the log, what's left over here? Okay. Good, Evie. Evie's saying 5. Because if the log and the base of 3 and this 3 cancels out, what's left over? Good, Cookie. Good, Michael. Yes. It is going to be that exponent of 5, which now it's a whole number of 5. So that's how Pog got 6, because 1 plus 5 gives me 6. Okay, you also see it here. Okay. Okay, how are we feeling? Okay, let's see if we can take one step into the wild side. I think we're ready. I have faith. I don't know if you do, but I have faith. All right, so if you can, go ahead and tap up. If we can get to like 13, that will be amazing. I don't know, Jonah, but thank you. Yeah, that's like my favorite one, when I can cancel out. All right, so if we can get it up to like 13, and I can get us ready for the next one as I'm setting it all up. And then thanks again for coming tonight. I know it's not easy. It's a Saturday night. It's starting to get warm out. A lot of people want to go out. But this is when, just before 4th of July, you always have to ask yourself the question, is that fireworks or gunshots? Welcome to Baltimore. Now you can tell the difference because these people be like military grade up in like New Year's. It's like, you know what? Let me keep my butt in the house. Nah, this is easy. Hey, Rough Nut. All right. Thank y'all. Thank you. All right. So, taking it a step up. Okay. Oh, hello, Bailiff. How are you? I haven't seen this name in a minute. Okay, so Bailiff is teetering between 2/3 or log of 2/3. Let's see. Okay, let's give everybody a moment. Let's see what we got. Well, okay, are these okay, are these log base 10s? Yes, they are. Yeah, so when you don't see a number representing the base, it is going to be a base of 10. Mm-hmm. Oh, my screen keeps going black and coming back. I don't know, I guess. I guess log of 2/3. Okay, Veronica's saying 1/3. Okay. Pog's saying 2/3. All right. Better than log of 2/3 without a calculator. Okay. All right. So if I were to tackle it, what would be the first thing that I would adjust as I'm trying to condense it? What would be the first thing I would touch? Yes, exponential. Yes, so we gotta work on Evelyn. Get your butt back in your seat. All right, so that means we have our log of 8 minus our log of 6 raised to the second power plus the log of 3. So, what do you think we should tackle next? Should I do the fraction or should I do the multiplication? What do you think will be appropriate? How do I convince my students to just do one step at a time like you? It's not really convincing because I don't know what's going on sometimes with kids nowadays. They write notes and they're just like all over the place. Plus, I tried to use like different colors. So I do notice that some of my students will actually use color pens or the erasable pens to kind of help. Notice that some of my students will actually use color pens or the erasable pens to kind of help. Hey, so nasty. I know it's Saturday night, but geez, people, calm it down. It's math. So you're saying left to right, neither apply the exponent first. Okay, you're saying 1, we're saying the multiplication. Okay, so now we are condensing this. And then since this is logs, this part here is going to be a fraction. The 8's going to be your numerator. The 6 squared is going to be your denominator. And then what you're going to do is multiply it. But when you're going to multiply with the log base 3. So it's almost like that fraction is actually going to be multiplied by 3. So let's work. I want to work from left to right so we can keep with the same patterns. So we have that log base 10. So my 8's going to be my numerator. My 6 squared is going to be my denominator. Okay. Then we still have, or we could still have this plus log of 3. Now, since we are addition, that means we're multiplying. They still have the same logs with the same base. So all we're doing is just writing that bad boy down once. And since you're multiplying, you're basically going to say 8 times 6 squared times 3. Okay. Red for canceling. I just like to use different colors. Because here's my thing. If I said, oh, red's for canceling, and God forbid you use your red pen one time that has nothing to do with canceling, they will crucify you. Because that's what kids do. So I just like to say, look, I just like to show you the different steps, right? You know how it is. So if anything, I just like to show different steps as the steps go through. I don't like to indicate a certain color for a certain thing because, yeah, all hell will break loose. Yeah, you know, JB, you understand it too. Because all it takes is just do that one time out of the norm, and you're just like, look, it looks like a right color to use because I've used black, I used blue, and I used the green, so let me use the red. Boom. Why are you using the red? It doesn't make any sense. Isn't it canceling? And then you just want to lose your mind. But you can't. Because you need the job, you need the benefits, right? Or you can come to me and I can show you how to be an online tutor. Hey, so catch 22. All right. So since we are, and I'm like, do I really want to condense even further? I probably could. Because what's going to happen? This 3, the whole number, right? I can make, since we got a fraction here, we can make this 3 into a 1, couldn't we? So if I put it over 1, sorry, I meant to say put it as a fraction. So I could put it over 1. So I still got my log. This time I have my 8 over 6 squared, which is 6 times 6, not 6 times 2, over 3 over 1. So if we really wanted to simplify, we can simplify it even further. We can cross simplify, okay? We can reduce it, yes. So you could do the multiplication of the numerator and the denominator and then simplify, or you can cross simplify and then multiply what's left over. You're going to get the same answer. All right, so even if you do 8 times 3, which gives me 24 over 36, and then reduce, you can do it that way. Or you can take a look right here on the cross simplification. It's not necessarily working with the 8 and the 1, because that's just going to give you the same 8. But 3 and 36, they both have 3 in common. Now I'm whipping out the red pen, so that means that 3 is going to be a 1. And that 36 is going to be a 12. Okay. So now, multiplying straight across, I basically have 8 twelfths. And 8 twelfths can be reduced by what? It can work for 2, but it can do something else. There you go, Michael. You can go by 4. So if I reduce it by 4, remember, least common multiple, so we still got our log. If I reduce by, why did I say 2? I meant to say 4. 2 was still lingering in my mind. So that's going to give me 2, the log of 2/3. So whoever had a question mark at the end, erase the question mark, because that will be your final simplified answer. Yep, because the log didn't go anywhere, the log is still going to be there. All right. Okay, there you go, 2/3. Okay, so log is basically the inverse of exponentials. Okay, so we're just looking on the other side. Of the wonderland called exponents. Right. Always use the wonderland called exponents. Right. Always use the box. The box is a cheat code. Okay. That's interesting. All right. So let's try one more. Dunsville. All right. So let's see what you guys get when we do this. There we go. Let's see. Okay. All right, condense it. Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate it. All right. Seeing some great answers. I'm seeing some consistency. And I know it gets a little tricky when you're like, all right, there's no numbers except for the base. So what do? You use the same properties, okay? Don't let anybody or anything fool you, regardless of what they set up. If they're using numbers, if they're using variables, it doesn't matter. The process is still the same, okay? The process is still the same. So even if you have an answer in front of you, you don't feel strong enough to put it into the chat, that's fine. You're following along, that's awesome. If you don't know, you're like, you know what? I really don't know. You could put a question mark, okay? Question marks are answers as well. Definitely will take those, okay? All right. All right. So I had Pog that said log 7. It was xy over z. Michael says log base 7 of xy over z. JB said log base 7, which is x times y over z. Veronica says 2xyz. All right, let's take a look. So if we want to, just like if we were doing exponents or anything, or PEMDAS, we're going from left to right. So we have the log base 7 of x plus the log base 7 of y. Since it is addition, and if we want to condense it, that means we're looking at multiplication. So they still have the same logs. So log base 7, but we're going to multiply, so that will be x, y. Now we're going to bring down our minus log 7z. And then we look at it again. All right. Well, they both have the same log and base, so we got our log base 7. But since there is subtraction, that means we're going to divide these two things, those two items. So xy will be my numerator, and z is going to be my denominator. So your answer, yes, is log base 7 of xy over z. Okay. So Veronica, you have an idea what happened? Okay. All right. Questions? Okay. Even if you're just like, man, this was really hard. Okay, think about it. Either it's been a long time since you guys have seen it, or it's just like you're maybe not there yet. Okay. Which is fine. All right. The fraction, yes. Yes. So anytime I see subtraction, that means these two items are going to be turned into a fraction. So you just take your xy and then you put your z underneath. What equation is this? We are doing logs. So we're basically expanding and condensing logs. So that's what we're doing. All right. Okay. So if anything, any questions? Okay. So if any, any questions? Okay. So if anything, like I always said, all my replays are here. Okay. If you go, hold on, you're blocking my stuff. Okay. Sorry. Replays, every one of them that I've had since February. And I updated some of them today because they took forever to upload or to download. I will be changing my hours, and this is where I also need your feedback. You know, you're like, yeah, I can make a poll, I can create a poll, but I want to hear from you guys because you're the ones that come in and you support me, and I greatly appreciate every little thing that you guys do. Even if it's just to share one of my videos or come to a live, I am greatly appreciative. So I know a lot of people love the fact that you can basically get free tutoring. And I'm just trying to think of ways for me to, I can't appease everybody because that's just impossible. But a lot of my sessions I'm trying to do like around 11 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. But my weekends, I'm going to move it up from like 8:30 to possibly 7. I know I was late today because, yeah, emotionally, I'm just a hot mess. For those that don't know, I am actually basically running a summer math course for people that want to pass their GED, the ASVAB, the TEAS test. And if you know of anyone, or maybe it's you, that needs some extra assistance, please let me know so we can get you started, because we've basically started 2 weeks ago, but we're just about to get into the algebra component. And I know that's what a lot of people really struggle in all those exams. So if you're interested, make sure you DM me. And if anything, I did have, okay. If anyone needs a private tutor, I have openings. And right now, I know that sounds really weird, but right now I need students. Anyone that wants to get themselves ready for the SAT, the ACT. Maybe you are currently a college student, like it's been a million years ago since you've been in school, and now you're gone back to school and you need some assistance and you would like to have some tutoring. Definitely reach out. Again, my flash sale is going all the way to like the 30th of this month. So we got roughly 10 days. 10 days for me to raise my funds, not only to help me help other people, but also to help me keep my home, because it's getting kind of cray-cray. So if anything, if you do want to donate, you can donate. It could be $1, guys. Like, seriously, I'm not asking you to pay for the whole thing. That is crazy and insane. But if you want to, you can go to these places. Talk to me about this one, but you can definitely go to these 2 places and just donate what you feel like, because this week is going to be the final push that I'm really trying to get all this stuff done so I can alleviate the stress off my brain, because I'm not sure if I wanted to start charging, and I feel weird because you guys have been very supportive. But tell me how you feel. If you want to send me a message and say, hey, Audrey, please don't change a thing. Or if anything, if you do charge, can you charge like a really small amount? Like that's going to be monthly. Maybe make it like one that's a free live. Maybe make it like one that's a free live, and then another one that's a paid live. This is the time to start making these adjustments, because I'm just not the type of person that likes to ask for help. I usually like to work for my money. All right, but there's nothing wrong to asking for help. Yeah, like a subscription. I was thinking something like that. I don't know if I want to have it connected for TikTok or if I just want to do something for Zoom, and I don't know. I'm constantly thinking about these things and it's giving me a headache. So I don't know. So any ideas, anything that you think will be beneficial for you at the same time, because it takes a lot to do a lot of the preps and to make sure, because I'll just sometimes I'll handwrite a couple of problems, and sometimes I'm actually doing a whole lesson plan to make sure I have extra activities and extra questions and all that. But it's not okay, let me just take it off this paper. I'm looking through some of my notebooks that I have in the back, in the background. So just let me know. Think about it. Think about it until we see each other tomorrow night at 8:30. All right? Okay? So anything that you guys can do to help, that'll be great. Maybe it might be a thing, just say at the end or in the middle. If anybody wants to do all your TikTok gifts, you can do your TikTok gifts. But I know I'm going to be talking to some other influencers to see what they're doing. And just so I can get something that's not too crazy for you, but at the same time, as a collective, it will be beneficial for me. Just thinking. Alrighty? So, if you have any questions, if you want to join any of the courses, if you are a teacher and you actually like the notebooks that I have, I also have these on sale. I don't know what's going on with my TikTok shop. Again, I had some more sales and I didn't know it. I didn't get any notification. I don't know what's going on. But if you do like the setup of my notebooks, okay, it basically has, you can do just writing information in. You have like your formula section. If you want to write your steps, you can write your steps. And then it gives you another section for extra practice problems onto the side. But in addition to that, we also have resources in the very back of it. So we have like this factor sheet, which is great for Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Intermediate Algebra, any of those bridge classes to Algebra, Pre-Calculus, and some geometry. So we have like all the formulas that people generally miss, some of the terminologies that's used in word problems, as well as order of operations, be it here in the US and also international. Bam. Then we have our properties of exponents. We have our linear and quadratic equations. Then we're looking at the properties of transformation. And I will have a updated notebook for this fall. And I'm also working on a special project, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm hoping it's going to come through. All right, so area and perimeter, unit circles in here, as well as the Pythagorean theorem, SOHCAHTOA, and some of the identities. So again, then I also give kids or young students a brain break, because this book is basically designed for students 7th grade all the way up to adults. Okay. Now, if you like my notes and you actually want my notes, well, I have something called Audrey's Notes, which is a play on the Cornell notes. Which I basically do is I just take all the notes that I've done with all of my lives and I put them in one book. And in addition to that, you'll notice that there are, and it's on both sides, okay? So there is a QR code. If you scan the QR code, it will take you exactly to the live that's associated with the notes, okay? Nice, simple, easy to go. Right now, we're currently working on book 4, but books 1 through 3 is out. If you're interested, I'm going to go back to my books by Audrey Codner. But if you want the link, just DM me and I'll send you the link. And it's also available at the A word that everyone goes to. Not that one. So many things. The AMAZON. I feel like I'm spelling in front of a kid. It's crazy. All right. Okay. So 1, thank you so much for the follows. Thank you so much for the tapping. Thank you for being here. It's a Saturday night, I know, and it's starting to get warm out. You know, hopefully you guys are relaxing and chilling. If you're a teacher, I'm hoping you're relaxing and chilling because you deserve this time. Because I hate to tell you, before you sneeze, boom, it's time for you to get right back on that horse again. I know. So every moment, before you sneeze, boom, it's time for you to get right back on that horse again. I know. So every moment, every day, I know there's going to be some days you would just want to sleep the day away. Maybe just do one day. One day a week, do that. But don't do it every day. Because you know you got something. Maybe just do one day. One day a week, do that. But don't do it every day. Because you know you got some things and some ideas that you want to play around with. All right? Okay. Well, thank you. Hey, Reed, how are you? So if you have any questions about the books, about my courses, about how to donate for our funds so you can maybe sponsor someone for our coursework that we're doing on here, just message me. Okay? Just message me. Everything will be fine. Alrighty? I'm doing. I need to have a better response, but I just had a moment. Yeah, class is over. I know, right? So if anything, just give me a moment so I can download everything. And I know that's what happens when you have fun. Everything just goes by so quickly. It doesn't feel like torture. You're like, man, we were over. I'm like, yeah, we've been here for a moment. So if anything, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be here at 7 p.m. tomorrow. I'll try to send a post just to send a reminder. Alrighty? Okay. Have a great evening. Take care now. Bye. Thank you for the love and the appreciation. I love it. Thank you.